Hey everybody, my name is Dustin and I get to travel around the world telling the stories of Maranatha. We build churches, schools, and drill water wells, and we often use volunteers to do that work. Today, I want to take you to one of the most extreme places I've ever been with Maranatha. It's a place in Kenya called Ileret. Parts of Kenya are kind of like what you'd see in The Lion King. There's acacia trees and safari animals on the savanna. Other parts of the country have green, lush forests. But in the north of Kenya, the landscape turns to desert. It's dry, it's barren, and it's lifeless. Yet somehow, there are indigenous people who live here. They're called the Daasanach. The Daasanach have mostly lived the way they have for hundreds of years. They don't have any modern amenities to hack this harsh environment, and so I was curious to see how they survived out here. To get to Ileret, I flew from California to the Kenyan capital city of Nairobi, and then took a small plane up to a dirt airstrip near salty Lake Turkana. First thing we did when we got there was go meet the people in this Daasanach village where Maranatha was trying to drill a water well. On our way out to the village, I kept seeing a stark reminder of where we were. There were skeletons everywhere. You couldn't drive more than a quarter of a mile before seeing another pile of bones from an animal that died of thirst. And I wondered, did this happen to the Daasanach people too? I didn't see any sources of water. Lake Turkana is huge. We flew over it with the plane when we landed, but it's an all-day walk from where this village is, and the water there is dirty and it's salty. It's not really an option. So where did the Daasanach people get water? Humans can't survive without some sort of water somewhere. You can say, oh, there's no water there, but there had to be some place. A spring maybe? An oasis here somewhere in this desert? Well, when we arrived at the village called Watalii, I met a young mother named Dawo. She was about 15 years old and she had a baby on her hip. She agreed to show me where she collected water from each day. Dawo led us along a rocky, thorny path with no shoes until she got to this dry riverbed. And as we walked out into the sand, slowly I could see an opening in the ground appearing where the riverbed kind of dropped out and there was this large hole. At the bottom was a woman standing in ankle-deep water, filling up a plastic jug. This stuff was not clean, but I had already seen that they just didn't have any other options. When it was Dawo's turn, she climbed down into the hole using a tree branch as a ladder. She filled her jug and passed it up and out of the hole. In fact, they had a rope that they were using to kind of help pull it out of the hole. It was very sobering for me because at home, I'm used to turning on a faucet anytime I want to get clean, pure water. Dawo didn't have that option. She had to use this dirty water. And the thing was, she knew it wasn't good for her. She knew it made her people sick. She wished things could be different, but when you're in the middle of nowhere, that's just a dream. But that's why Maranatha was here, to try to make this dream a reality. Our well drilling team had been working all day to find clean water so that Dawo and the rest of the village didn't have to use this stuff anymore. But it wasn't going well. After working in the hot sun all day, the hole the team was drilling on collapsed. All of that work instantly gone. Talk about depressing. The guys were definitely disappointed. And the thing is that drilling wells isn't cheap. And we had limited materials on this trip. The guys had driven a number of vehicles all the way from the capital city of Nairobi. A few days it had taken them to get up here. They couldn't just go down to the store and buy more. And we also had other villages to go to in this area, so moving on was definitely an option. So the team was discouraged, but they prayed about it and decided to try again about 100 feet from where that first hole was. So they start drilling. Hopes are high. Eventually, the same thing started happening. The hole was collapsing on itself. This time, they tried to insert a protective casing to reinforce the hole, but we got to the end of the day and there was still no water. The next day, the team tried to flush out the well, but nothing happened. They were almost ready to quit, but they asked the lead driller to go 1 rod deeper. Well drilling is done with these long rods that they drill by section, they put another rod down. So they asked, just try 1 more rod. And on that last rod, we hit water. Couldn't believe it. People were shouting for joy. Our team was very excited. You have to remember, they had spent hours in the hot sun, 100 degrees, sweating and toiling, and all the time, this whole village sitting there watching this whole thing happen, and they did not want to leave that village without being able to provide clean water. The whole village would have water. Dawa would have clean water. The new well was near her house, right at the Watalii Seventh-day Adventist Church. The whole village came out to dedicate this well. It was a beautiful sight to see. There, in the middle of desolation, in this desert, was an oasis to quench not just the physical thirst, but also the spiritual thirst at that Maranatha church that had been built. It's pretty humbling to be a part of all of this, and it was something that left me realizing this was something special going on in this part of Kenya. I have more from this expedition to Ileret in our next episode, including journeying through the desert without any roads or air conditioning, and a site where the experts said we simply wouldn't find any water. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe.